I'm just going to be telling you guys about something. You ready? Mr. Nash? Okay. I want to tell you about my friend whose name is Ugg. He's an outdoorsman, and he likes to hunt, and he likes to gather his food. A regular day for Ugg would be that he wakes up with the sun and gets ready to go for his day of hunting. He remembers where he was successful the day before, and he starts off in that direction. He has nothing to eat for breakfast because he had eaten all of his food the day before and had none left for today. So he knows that it'll be a while before he eats, but that's a typical thing for Ugg. He doesn't eat till later in the day. Along the way, he'll get drinks from creeks and ponds and rivers. Finally, after walking for quite a while, he finds some food and he kills it. Typically, these food acquiring activities take place early in the day, which means that eating may not occur until long after dawn, said Eric Garnis, a clinical nutrition and creator of the Darwin Medical website. Ugg's lifestyle of abstaining from food is still an eating pattern that is carried on today. It's known as intermittent fasting and calorie restriction. Both IF and CR offer a number of amazing benefits but when they're put together, you get more weight loss and management, helps to lower blood pressure, reduces cholesterols, and anti-aging. I've done some extensive research on this subject to qualify myself for giving this speech, and I've also been very interested in this subject matter for quite a while. I've known a few people who have followed this eating pattern with great benefits. Having a healthy lifestyle is something that everybody is concerned with. We all want to have a healthy body. We need it to work for us day to day to function. But following the IFCR regimen can be a solution to keeping us healthy and strong. Today I'm going to talk about the basics of IF and how it can help us keep a healthy lifestyle, how an accidental experiment in the Biosphere 2 led to the CR credibility, and how implementing them together in one eating pattern can be healthiest results. First, let's go over what IF is. So intermittent fasting is when you purposely withhold from food for a certain amount of time, and then in a specific time frame you can eat. So one of the most popular patterns that is followed is called the 16-8. And what you do with the 16-8 pattern is you fast for 16 hours and then you have 8 hours to eat. During the 16 hours, you are sleeping mostly. So what it would be is you would end your eating at 8 p.m. You would be fasting all night long. When you woke up till noon when you could eat, you could only have fluids, which water, coffee with no milk or sugar, and teas with no sweeteners added in. The other popular options are the Eat, Stop, Eat, and the 5-20. Eat, Stop, Eat is when during the day you have 2 complete 24-hour days, so 2 non-consecutive days where you fast for 24 hours, and the remaining 5 you have your regular calorie intake. The 5-2 pattern is when on 2 non-consecutive days you eat between 500 and 600 calories, and the remaining 5 days you have regular intake. There's no doubt that Ugg must have been very healthy because of his lifestyle and exercise he did while walking around. We're able to have the benefits of the IF regimen if we follow that pattern. Benjamin Horn, director of cardiovascular at Utah's nonprofit Intermountain Healthcare System, said, "There continues to be good evidence that intermittent fasting is producing weight loss benefits. We also have some evidence that these diets can reduce inflammation. They can reduce blood pressure, resting heart rate, and they seem to have beneficial effects on the cardiovascular system. Along with weight loss, it also helps to raise your levels of the human growth hormone. That's the hormone that helps you to lose the weight and build muscles. It also gives your cells times to recover and to eliminate any cells that are dead or causing a buildup in your body." In the same way that IF is beneficial, calorie restriction has its own set of benefits. CR was actually studied long before IF was, but it didn't gain the popularity that IF did. CR is restricting your daily intake between 20 to 40%. And the scientists that were researching saw that animals that had these calorie restrictions had less chronic illness and had a longer lifespan. But no humans were tested with the CR diet until the 1980s. And then in 1991, the Biosphere 2, which is an artificial ecological system, was going to have 8 scientists live in there for 2 years. And they could only live off the food that was produced and grown in the biosphere. They would have nothing coming in or out from their biosphere. After they were locked in there, they found out they were not going to have enough food. They had 8 scientists living in there. One of the scientists that was living in there, his name was Roy Walford. He was also one of the pioneers for CR research, and he has a book, The 120-Year Diet. He offered a solution of implementing this calorie restriction diet so that they could save food, but also they could gather research on calorie restriction, how it worked for their bodies. After the 2 years, all 8 scientists found that they had reduced their blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. They had reduced their calories by 30%. Years after that experiment, a researcher at the Pennington Biomedical Research Center in Baton Rouge, Eric Raboujian, he conducted one of the first tests in 2008. He studied 218 women and men on this diet for 2 years. After the 2 years, he only saw a 12% drop in the calories, but he saw a significant drop in the blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose, and insulin. Now that we know how amazing they are on their own, if we implement them both together, we can see that we can get optimal health results. In a study performed by the University of Illinois Department of Nutrition, a group of 60 women were tested. 30 were tested with a liquid-based diet for breakfast and lunch, and 30 were tested with a food diet. They both had a calorie restriction, but at the end of the diet, they saw that both of them had great success with the diet. The results were gathered together by Monica C. Kempler. She's a researcher at the University of Illinois, and she said, for the first time that the combination of IF plus CR is an effective means of reducing body weight, fat mass, and visceral fat mass. From a clinical standpoint, we would recommend this diet to individuals who wish to boost their weight loss, see if with their weight loss they see with IF by adding a daily CR regimen. In conclusion, I just want you to not think of the IF and CR as a harsh diet that puts you in a food jail and where you're not allowed to eat anything. It's quite the opposite, offering freedom from the restrictions of having to remember what you can eat and what you can't eat. Think of the two as a lifestyle change for the better. With the undeniable benefits, it will be hard to disprove the IF and CR when used together in tandem, often many more benefits than any typical diet does. UGG was a pioneer in the IF research and didn't even know it. It is in our own best interest to follow our Paleolithic ancestors' example for living a healthier lifestyle.